Welcome everyone to the March 25th, 2024 meeting of Town Council. Can we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on our agenda are some announcements, and a very important one is we have a proclamation for a very special person here in the town, Miss Joanne Steigerwald. So I'm going to, why don't we go ahead and step up front, Joanne, if you can come on up front, please. It's with great honor, I get to make an official proclamation recognizing Joanne Steigerwald for her 19 years of exemplary service to the town of Kansas. Whereas Joanne Steigerwald joined the town workforce on March 9th, 2005 as the town receptionist. Whereas Joanne Steigerwald masterfully applied her varied background in customer service and mortgage industries to her role. Whereas Joanne Steigerwald spent 19 years of her work life at McCandless Town Hall, applying all of her experience and skills to the best of her ability every day. And whereas most importantly, Joanne defined that hard work means consistently exhibiting conscientious attitude, good judgment, and the highest level of integrity, dignity, propriety, and grace. Now therefore resolved that the town council of the town of Kansas extends its deepest appreciation and honors Joanne for her exemplary career filled with loyalty, dedication, and care given to the citizens of Kansas. We say best wishes for a long and enjoyable retirement.
We're all here for the flowers and things that are everybody here and making the town look nice. Everybody came up. We thought that was appropriate and wanted to get you that. It's a nice, the vase.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
By all means, if you'd like to say anything.
I just want to thank everyone. I was not expecting this. This is beautiful. Thank you so very much, and for council and everything for taking the time to recognize me. And I really have enjoyed my appointment here. I know I'm going to miss it. But it's time to retire and move on to a different phase of life. And so that's what we're doing.
You only got 3 more months, right?
No. A little less than that, Jim. Or Joe, I'm sorry. I'm nervous. But I do want to thank the residents. It's been great getting to help the residents and know the residents and just that whole. I'm gonna miss it. But like I said, I've got grandbabies and things in life that we just, it's time to go another way too, so thank you again for everybody being here tonight and for acknowledging me in this way. I really appreciate it. Place in my house, I can tell you that.
Thank you so much, Joanne.
Thank you. Yes. Well, I got it. I'm not today. I think Lydia said, I don't have to, you don't need to. That's gonna be my motto.
So our next item on the agenda is another announcement. We actually have another proclamation for National Library Week. Amy, do you want to come up for that, or do you want me to talk a little? I'll talk a little, but I can give it to you. So National Library Week 2024. The proclamation reads, whereas libraries offer the opportunity for everyone to connect with others, learn new skills, and pursue passion, no matter where they are in life's journey. Whereas libraries are an essential public good and fundamental institutions in democratic societies working to improve society, protect the right to education literacy, and promote the free exchange of information and ideas for all. Whereas libraries adapt to ever-changing needs of their communities, develop and expand collections, programs, and services that are diverse as populations they serve. Whereas libraries are accessible and inclusive places that promote a sense of local connection, advancing civic engagement and shared community goals. Whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers are joining library supporters and advocates across the nation to celebrate National Library Week. Now therefore, be it resolved that we, the Town Council of the Town of McCandless, proclaim National Library Week, April 7th to the 13th, 2024, During this week, we encourage all residents to visit Northland Public Library and celebrate the adventures and opportunities they unlock for us every day. Ready, set, library. So thank you for all the hard work.
We thank the town for all the support
Get a
over
picture.
the years, and like the proclamation said, come visit us, see what's new.
Great, thank you.
Wait, get a pic.
The picture of the proclamation. I'll get it.
Continuing on, other announcements, Northland Public Library will host the 2024 Garden Gala on Saturday, April 20th, 2024. Tickets went on sale February 1st. The other items of announcements, the Environmental Advisory Committee has planned a spring roadside cleanup on April 20th at 8:30. Registration is required. Please visit the town website for more details. The Town of McCandless Police Department is seeking applicants for full-time police officers. An application can be found on the town website. It must be returned completed to the police department by Friday, April 19th, 2024 at 4 p.m. Visit the town website for more details. Are there any other announcements from anyone else on council? Okay, at that time, I will ask for any public comment on agenda items only. Please come forward, state your name and address, and you will be provided with 5 minutes. These are on agenda items only.
Okay, let's see, number one. Thanks so much for getting Ellen Wright, 9635 Old Coomer Road, Allison Park, PA 15101. Thanks so much for having the agenda posted before the close of business on Friday. Number two, the motion for the change in the zoning. I just want to bring out again that this was not identified during the zoning process, that this property was something that would be amended later. Number three, the motion under new business, motion letter D to tentatively identify the series establishing a master resolution to govern various town fees and charges. Looking at that, there's no way to know what are the new fees, what are the old fees. Is this just pulling everything together that's already been done? So, and the paperwork doesn't say that. And I'm kind of curious about the $3,000 for logging, where we have logging in McCandless. And then the last thing under new business, the motion to authorize the town solicitor to formalize a park rules and ordinance. Is that part of the retainer for the town solicitor, or is that an additional cost?
Thank
Thank
for your
you.
comments. Are there any other comments? Okay, we will move on to reports. I'm sorry, we have to, the previous council minutes for March 11th were emailed, and provided. Is there any discussion? There's a motion by Mr. Wall. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Giorgetti. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to reports of committees, administration, and finance. Mr. Casey, would you like to take over this?
Sure, staff reports. Everybody had an opportunity, I hope, to review all the check listings. Are there any questions? Okay, good. Thank you. Then I'll make the motion to review and approve check listing number 2 dated February 1st, 2024 to February 29, 2024, totaling $1,396,173.56 as submitted to each member of council and posted on the bulletin board and town website.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Wall. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, now a review of our summary dashboard. Trish, we want to take it
Good
from here?
evening, council. You had in your packet the February 29th of 2024 year-to-date dashboard and financial report. The revenues and expenditures for the general fund are included in this report. The dashboard shows that we are consistently performing in relation to prior year. There's really not been a whole lot of outliers at this time. We, of course, have the traditional snow and ice control, which is at 32% of budget. That's to be expected. We are actually have purchased the minimum in salt purchases at this time, is my understanding. And short of additional snowfall, probably will not go over that and have a budget availability there. So pray for no snow. The other item on that is you'll see building and grounds, building and 409. The insurance policy payment has been received for 2024 for the first 9 months of the year. So you'll see that at roughly 20%. Any other questions on the financial report? Right now, you're looking at everything to be under 17% of expenditures for the budget, 2 months in. Again, revenues are really only a month because of our accounting policy. And the financial report, the auditors have been in. It is in draft form. We do expect to file it on time next week. And then we will receive the audit a few months later, the formal report. So if you all have any questions on the financial report tonight, I'm happy to answer it. And as well, I'm available anytime throughout the week.
So basically, your part of the audit is done.
The DCED report, so the piece that has to go to the state. At this point, I'm just reviewing numbers, but they have finished their audit process. We are waiting for a few reports from some of our vendors for pension, et cetera. Those are usually after the fact, after we file the state report. Once those are received and the final confirmations are received, they will issue the final report. According to the engagement letter that we signed, it'll be by the end of July.
But our part of it is done.
For the most part, yes.
Well done, Trish. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Set a record this year.
Any other questions?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Communications report.
Communications report was in your packet. If you have any questions, you may have noticed that the police Facebook account got a lot more impressions than normal. We did do some targeted ads for the police officer today.
Great. Okay, junior council members report. Yuki Carson.
Good evening, everyone. First, North Allegheny was ranked 6th in the nation for
That's school.
best school. Yeah, thank you. And I just wanted to, congratulate our amazing school district leaders for, having the best athletic program we can possibly have. It is amazing that we are 6th in the nation. I think that's really impressive. Second, I was honored to host a meeting at the high school about my safety awareness day. That's part of my initiative with the town. We are planning to have a mock crash at Nash to spread awareness of the dangers of drunk driving. And third, HOSA had a international, they sent, the organization HOSA sent over 100 students to the state conference this month, and we'll be sending 7 students to the international conference in June. Thank you.
So North Allegheny administration conducted an ALICE awareness campaign, which is just a 5-step plan to just raise awareness and preparedness for any safety threats in the school day. And while we're very sad that we have to prepare for such situations, we're very grateful that we're able to gain valuable information and learn to keep safe. North Allegheny's forensics. North Allegheny sent over 50 students to the Pennsylvania speech and debate competition in Bloomsburg this month. And we placed 3rd in the overall sweepstakes, and 21 students won individual awards. And lastly, we just want to express our support for the creation of a sidewalk along Blazer Drive. It will be a great addition to student life, convenience, and safety along that area and Marketplace, so we're in great support of that renovation. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuki. Thank you, Carson, and particularly thank you for supporting the sidewalk. Next, McCandless Industrial Development Authority, Mr. Arlo.
Yes, there was a meeting last week and I talked to Brian and, there was a little snafu. I wasn't alerted to that, those folks don't meet regularly, or it's not on the calendar. And, so it was a reorganization meeting to put, Mr. Eminen in. And, beyond that, I don't know, much of what went on.
Yeah, I reviewed the minutes. I was confused because there were 23 minutes.
Yeah.
But that's when it had last. So
Okay.
appreciate
Thank you. North Hills Council of Governments, Mr. Singer.
I don't think there's any meeting minutes in your packet. We did have our meeting last week, so I will make sure when I receive those minutes, they'll be in the following month's report. Salt, that's big talk about COG, everybody's talking about how much extra salt everyone.
Where are they gonna put it?
I followed up with our town manager. We're in good shape here. It's not a threat for us, but it is for some other communities. On the stormwater side, the COG's working with the US Army Corps, exploring some of their possibilities on that. Our town manager was elected as the chair of the
Main COG.
Managers Committee.
Congratulations.
All right.
Thanks.
He was 5 minutes late and they appointed him for that meeting. That's how it always works, so it was good to know, but that's the brief update on COG. There'll be minutes next week.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Singer. Public comment on Administration and Finance Committee items? Okay, with that said, I'll.
Mr. Pacey, this is Trish Clunan. I just want to thank our junior council people for sharing opinions with us. I think that's a great role for our junior council people to keep moving forward on by providing some input from the young people in our community about the future of where they're going to be living. And I really appreciate them taking the time to do that.
Well taken. Thank you, Ms. Clunan. Next, I'll turn it over to.
Yeah, report on Planning and Zoning Committee, staff reports. RJ.
Good evening. So we've got 2 items from the Planning Commission this month, and then of course there are a couple other items, one related, one not, on your agenda for the actual voting section. So happy to take any questions on those if you have them at the end. First, I'll go over the plan that's labeled the Blazer Drive subdivision number 5. Translated, that's just the McCandless Square Phase 3 first townhome chop-up subdivision. So typically what happens when you have a townhome, community that's being built is that they start out with, a couple parcels, maybe just one big one. And as they begin to build the buildings, they'll chop that parcel up into one per building, basically. And then construction begins. Once the foundations are laid, they come back again for each building and do one more chop up for each unit. So we are at sort of the first stop in the subdividing, where they're making the parcels for each building as a whole. Very simple plan. Pretty much everything was done ahead of time because this was a master plan development. So there weren't any stormwater features or infrastructure or anything like that to go over. That was already taken care of as part of the master plan. So that sailed right through the Planning Commission and it is on the agenda for you all tonight.
And there's sidewalks, right?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, that was already, we've handled that. Yeah, there are quite a few pathways throughout that whole.
There's really nothing to debate on that because the master plan was approved
Right.
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
About, I want to say it was towards the end of 2021 that we did that, yeah. Maybe we finally approved it at the beginning of 22. But yeah, everything's compliant. I mean, this is one of the few developments that we have that there's not even like a formatting comment remaining on the town engineer's letter, which is why you don't see any conditions of approval because it's already been buttoned up. So yeah, this one's good to go. Any other questions on the Blazer Drive subdivision? Okay. So the next thing that we reviewed at the Planning Commission, this kind of took up the bulk of the meeting. We have a conditional use application This is one of the first ones, I think the first one actually that we've had under the new code. So just for a very quick overview of what exactly is a conditional use application, because we don't get them that often. There are a couple different types of permitted uses, types of ways that you can permit uses in zoning. The basic one is permitted by right. Somebody opens up a business, they want to open a business, they walk into the office, they fill out a form where I check over and make sure that it's a permitted use in that district, sign, and it's pretty much as simple as that. That's permitted by right. Conditional uses are another type of permitted use that just have to go through an extra level of review. That can be for a few different reasons, whether it's you have specific conditions upon that use, like maybe it has a greater setback or greater buffering that's just built into, you always have to do it with that use. You can also make a conditional use without any specific additional use regulations, but it has to go through the public hearing process so that everybody has an opportunity to make comment, make recommendations for reasonable conditions, as we call them. Typically, you put that on a use that maybe some people could find objectionable, but it can be done just fine if you're thoughtful about, how the site is approached and that individual case. So that is what this one falls under. It is a towing business. They sometimes are going to be parking vehicles, commercial vehicles, the tow vehicles overnight. So both the tow lot and the vehicle staging and storage fall under our warehouse and distribution use category in the new code. So that is a conditional use.
Forgive me, but isn't this property on Hillview Lane and Route 19?
It's at the corner of, yes.
With the gas station. There was the gas.
It used to be a long time ago,
Yeah.
I'm told.
That it used to be a used car lot.
Correct.
That's what I was most recently familiar with.
This says it's located on Cumberland Road. Or am I looking at the wrong
I think
thing?
you're looking at that motion.
You may be looking at the
Oh, okay.
motion.
Oh,
This is this guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
And
okay.
Just so we're aware, this is still a planning commission.
Yes.
Let's not go too far down this road. Planning commission still has to roll on this.
Right, yeah, this is not up for a vote yet, but this is just the part of the report where I go over where.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got
That's
further on down.
Well, okay, hold that thought, and once I'm done with this, we'll come back to Cumberland if you still have questions. But to your point, yes, this is at the corner of Perry Highway and Hillview Lane. And it used to be, I think, a gas station and eventually a used car lot. So it's not unusual to have auto-related uses necessarily at this property. However, there were a handful of uses in the new code that we made these conditional uses because we thought they deserved an extra checkpoint to just talk through if we needed extra screening, something like that. So that was content of the discussion. The Planning Commission, the applicant has been asked to come back this next month with a landscaping plan, which I just received in my email today. So, we're going to be distributing that out to the Planning Commission in their packets later this week. But they've mostly been discussing additional plantings. So they make those recommendations. They can recommend to town council, what they think reasonable conditions would be that could be attached to the approval. It then comes to a public hearing at town council. And so the next time that you see me in April, that will also be the date that we have that public hearing, which I believe is the 22nd. Yes, yeah, April 22nd. So Planning Commission will issue yay or nay their recommendation at their next meeting, and then it'll come to you guys.
Now it'll come to us for a public hearing and then we'll vote on it.
Not the same day,
Okay.
but
We'll vote
yes,
on the
yes.
Following month.
Yes, typically.
You gotta hand their planning commission. They're pretty thorough. Guys are pretty thorough.
They spent some time with this one for sure. Any questions on that one?
Not on that one.
Any questions on the rest of the agenda items?
The-
I would hold the other ones till we get to
Liaison.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
that part of it.
Okay.
Okay,
I mean, you're more than welcome to give a brief overview, but I don't want to talk about it now and then. talk
no,
about it.
that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm
And
happy to wait. Just yell when you need me.
we better put those under when we're into new business.
All right, well, I
Cool.
think that's,
We're good, yeah.
okay.
Liaison reports, I did attend the meeting with RJ and the Blazer Drive was non-eventful. The Browns towing was, he seems like he's a good neighbor. He's willing to do what it takes to get placate to what we need as far as any adjustments, so. Next zoning hearing board, Trish Clunin. We might have lost, her.
There was no meeting in February. There will be a meeting this week coming.
Great. Any public comments on planning and zoning committee items? There's none, we'll move on. Report, Recreation Committee, Nick Giorgetti.
Liaison reports, the Finance, Development and Promotional Committee for the Heritage and Cultural Center, Mr. Hart.
There was a meeting of the Heritage and Cultural Center Committee for purposes of trying to air out all the plans for various fundraisers. They are ongoing and the minutes are in your packet.
Activities Advisory Ad Hoc Committee, Ms. Clunin.
There was no meeting.
Is there any public comments on Recreation Committee items?
Okay.
Can I just make a note to thank Angela O'Connor, our Parks and Rec coordinator, for putting together a very nice Easter egg hunt and also 2 cookie classes on Sunday. Both events were well attended, Easter egg hunt, a lot of our families put up with some nice cold weather and even some little ones that were bundled up, but definitely a fun event for the first time we've really pulled that off as a McCandless organization.
Thank you. Continuing on, item 7, town managers report.
Manager's report was sent to you via email and is also a hard copy here. If you have any questions, please let me know. Got answer?
Also, the engineer's report was emailed to you. If there's any questions, I'm sure Kelly's in the crowd tonight. Mr. O'Malley can answer as well.
I do have a question for Kelly. And that is relative to the Marwa property, the Ridge. There were a few things that were supposed to be done. I.e., they were supposed to do the water testing at the homes below. I wonder if that was accomplished.
To my knowledge, it has not been accomplished to date. They have only been released on a grading permit. They have not received their full land development permit.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure that doesn't fall through the cracks.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll circle up on that.
And did anybody have an opportunity to talk to Don Batista?
No, not yet.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah, let me get with you after the meeting.
Okay,
You can share his contact info.
Great.
That works.
Now,
Thank you.
the land development permit allows them to start clearing the brush and whatnot, is that right?
The grading permit, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, the grading permit, they have started clearing some trees. I believe they have the demo permit as well. A while ago. Yeah, so it will allow them to start some earth movement up there.
They've already done that.
Yes, yes,
See, I mean, that was a issue.
yes, yeah, we did hold a pre-construction meeting.
Part of my taking a seat on council, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're allowed to clear brush on your property either way, you shouldn't be moving dirt. So we have either a grading permit or. They wanted the grading permit first.
Okay.
In this scenario.
Thanks
And I
for-
was just emailing with them about the water quality.
great, thank you.
Requirements that they offer it to the
Mhm.
neighbors, so we were just communicating about that last week.
Sure.
Thanks
Thank
for the clarification.
Any other items for our town engineer?
I'm just curious, like, is that gonna be done to grade of the McKnight?
No.
No, it's gonna be up on the hill.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's less than
For the
4 feet.
sidewalk, yeah, it
Mhm.
was gonna be really big.
They're raising the curb, so the curb is raised, they're grading. So the only thing that's gonna be at grade per se with the road would be the stormwater management facility sits below where that
Right.
rock ledge is. Everything else is gonna be up.
So that rock ledge will stay. Well,
I believe there's no grade in
Yes.
there.
yeah, I can't remember if there is,
Yeah.
I'm assuming
So
it's
that-
gonna be difficult to grade, so there's probably
Right.
minimal grading right there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty
I'm
steep.
just trying to envision it, driving by there. It's.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the town attorney's report. Steve?
Thank you, Mr. President. First, wanted to make sure we announced that council held an executive session at 6:30 this evening to discuss legal litigation and real estate matters. And then my report was in the packet. If you have any questions, we can talk about it in an executive session. That's my report.
Thank you, Steve. Item number 9, old business. I don't believe we have anything outstanding. So this time we can move on to new business. The first item up on here is a motion to award a contract for the Vessel Stream Restoration Phase 1. This is part of our PRP plan. There is a memo, I believe, in your packets. Is there a motion for approval as stated here? Anyone want to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Can you read it all for me, Doug? Just so-
Sure. Motion to award contract for Vestal Stream Restoration, Phase 1. Project to C Crump Incorporated in the base amount of $163,498.
Second.
Second by Mr. Casey. Any further discussion?
Mr.
all
Mr.
those in favor-
Chair,
Yes, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to bring up there was like quite a large discrepancy between each of the bids I noted. Is that a concern for us as a town, considering how almost double it went from the company we're suggesting to award to right now tonight?
No, the advice of our engineers and also myself, sometimes, we see this in paving bids, depending on how much other work the other contractors have, sometimes they throw a big number at it. We've used C Crump Incorporated for other things that did not run into a lot of change orders or any difficulties.
That's good to hear. Thank you.
Additionally, it came out pretty close to what the town engineer had estimated it would be.
Yeah, I would tell you familiarity with working with the town in the past, if they have done previous projects, they have a better understanding of the scope of project. Typically, it provides better pricing.
Okay, I just want to make sure that the town's not gonna be hit with change orders in a few months that cost a lot. Thank you.
Okay, there is a first and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next item up, this is what RJ kind of teed up earlier. This is the subdivisions where the townhomes over there,
We're good.
big parcels, middle part, building parcels, that's where we're at. Is there a motion on the table? Who wants to
I'll
read
make the
long one?
motion. I'll take-
Come on, read it off, Jack.
Okay. I'll put my glasses on for this one. Motion to approve the Blazer Drive number 5 subdivision, parentheses, McCandless Square, Phase 3, parentheses closed, application submitted by Laurel Communities LLC, located at Blazer Drive and Cooper Street, as reviewed by the town engineer in their letter dated March 21st, 2024, and recommended for approval by the Planning Commission.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Giorgetti. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the rezoning along Cumberland Road. Do we have anyone from that organization? Is there a presentation tonight, RJ, or is this?
We did the presentation at
Yeah, okay.
but they are available if you have questions.
Okay, so understand this was for the Eco Village development. This is just the rezoning part of it. We did have a public hearing on it. They're coming in now just to ask for rezoning. If approved, they will then come back in with a land development application to Planning Commission.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve the tentatively identified ordinance number 1548 of the Town Council of the Town of McCandless, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, amending Part 13 Planning and Zoning Code of the codified ordinances and zoning district map of the Town of McCandless to rezone the property located on Cumberland Road, identified as Allegheny County Block and Lot number 827-P-1-339 from special district to moderately density neighborhood. RM district.
That's enough. There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. All those, is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the agenda, item D, there is a motion talking about a resolution for the 2024 series regarding some town fees and changes. You want to go into it a little in detail about what might be changed?
Yeah, every year we pass a fee resolution. Sometimes there's some amendments to it. So this is the fee resolution that we passed in December for 2024. Two things that we added are actually setting the fee in lieu of
We've talked about that before. Sometimes if someone comes in and can't build a sidewalk, what that price is. So we set that in the new fee schedule as the fee in lieu of, based on the recommendation by our engineering firm. And the second one is the recreation fee is a fee in lieu of recreation on land development. We currently have it set it on an old ordinance at $400, so this just updates ours to $800 per housing unit in a land development project. So those are the only two changes, so really just cleaning up some things.
So to be clear,
Mhm.
if we were doing this at the Ridge, there's 18 home sites. It would be 18 times $800.
That's correct.
Okay.
But now, understand they also came in before we passed this ordinance.
I just use that
Going
as an
forward,
example.
yeah. And then also if they offer, our land development has some extensive rules that if they offer passive recreation, parks, trails, they don't have to do the fee in lieu of. This is just an option for them.
Okay, now. Addressing a question that was posed earlier. Are those the only two changes in the fee schedule? Okay,
I'll note that they were highlighted in yellow on the draft online, so so you could see what was changed.
That was registered. Yeah.
That wasn't online, okay.
Is there anyone willing to make this motion?
I will.
Mr. Jennings?
Motion to adopt tentatively identified resolution number 4 of the 2024 series, establishing a master resolution to govern various town fees and charges.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Casey, any further discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'd like to make that next motion, Mr. President. Motion to authorize Personnel Board to create an updated police officers, lieutenants and sergeants or promotions list.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number F on here is a resolution regarding amending the McCandless North Allegheny Heritage and Cultural Center core documents. Steve or Brian, you wanna dig into it just a little, in your packet? Yeah, essentially, we created some core documents in 2017 when the Heritage and Cultural Center was opened. There was, two things that were in there that our FPPC committee requested we change. One of them was, food and drink was only allowed in the office. And the concept of what they might use that space for, wanted to allow that for events. Secondly, just to create a teaching policy, it was at the recommendation particularly of our executive director over there, currently Wendy Moore. It allows for better use of some of the artifacts and or collections that we have, and I think it makes sense to just update those core documents to address that. Thank you for that description. Is there a motion out there?
Motion to approve.
Doug's made a motion to approve.
Motion to approve tentatively identified resolution 5 of the 2024 series, amending McCandless Northern Allegheny County Heritage and Cultural Center's core documents.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Nick. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item G is a process to authorize our town solicitor for formalized park rule ordinance. Just basically looking at our park rules, we have multiple ordinances to create multiple parks. It's just good to update that. Additionally, things like putting time limits on certain activities. We don't really have an ordinance for that to give our police the ability to enforce that. Just wanted to get, council's approval to move forward with that process, just to update it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the parks were, like Devlin Park was the first park, that ballpark, then Wattersburg. They've all come in at different times, and different rules have been applied to different parks, so all we're doing is standardizing those rules.
Yeah, we're standardizing them. We also can still have them individual based on the park, but I just really want to clean up
Right.
to modernize 2024 park rules.
You don't wanna legislate swimming at Devlin Park when they're.
Exactly. Yeah. Although there's the ability to swim, so I don't know if you want to. Is there a motion?
I have two questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, number one, how is it paid for? There was a question earlier,
Yes.
so I just want to put some sunshine on it. Pardon me?
It's out.
Hourly, okay. Number two is, can we put that in the grant that we're going for Parks and Recreation? Can we cover it in that?
No, I mean, honestly, it's gonna
It's
be
just a thought.
a minimal cost, and what we are getting the grant for can't be part of that.
Okay, just question. Okay, I'll make a motion.
How about it?
Okay, motion to authorize the town solicitor to initiate a formalized park rules ordinance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this time, are there any public non-agenda comments? Hearing none, then I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. There is.
Yes, there's a,
Come on up. Please state your name and address.
9009 Knoll Street, Timothy Triplett. I'm not here to oppose the rezoning of the sisters in the Rachel Carson. But I was just curious what you said about how the process worked now that it's rezoned in aspect to the replanning commission. Like when you said the date, but I'm curious to know like who performed all the traffic tests, the tree, like what trees are decided to be taken down
That
and
will all
water.
be determined going forward. We
Okay.
basically have given.
You've
them
given the
first-
permission to do that, I
they
get
have to
that.
Do all that and then.
That's
they
what
give
I'm-
it their time.
That's kind of what I'm getting at is like what the next process is the planning commission.
It will,
Okay.
they'll put all that information together and bring it to the planning commission.
Okay, and that will be available to the public for me.
Whenever we receive it, it will be posted for the planning commission next year.
Those are open meetings.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
They're
Planning
open
commission's
meetings.
open.
Okay, so I just have to know when they're on the calendar, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. Not a
You did a
problem.
good job.
Thank
Thanks
you.
For your comment. Anything else from public? Given that a few seconds.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Look
Night.
at that, 8:12, that might be a new record.